BowTie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, BowTie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the BowTie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. BowTie Barbecue Company, Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at BowTieBarbecueCO.com.
Welcome into the Danny Britt Show, live here from BowTie Barbecue, a playoff edition of the Danny Britt Show as your Cadets get set to take on East Forsyth coming up Friday night at Memorial Stadium. And Coach, a different schedule this year, a statewide bye week this past week as everybody gears up for the playoffs. But, man, it's the most exciting week of the year for me. It almost feels like March Madness where it's that first week. People are taking off work so they go watch basketball at 10 o'clock in the morning. You got so many teams in action across the state, and everybody has their eyes on Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely. It is exciting. I noticed, a number of social media posts where, talking about who's going to, who has it to make it to the end and all the different things. And super exciting for us. That's always the plan. Started talking again to, the freshmen that are still left on the team and those guys and said, hey, I'm sure your parents don't understand this, although we've explained this. The plan is for you to be here on Thanksgiving.
That's it.
Like literally right here where we're standing right now. And, I'll get a few calls from parents going, really? I'm like, well, that's the plan, right? So hopefully, it's 1 week at a time. It's exciting time for us.
Well, I mean, to me, that used to mean you made the semifinals. If you were still practicing on Thanksgiving, they keep pushing this thing back. It's just going to mean you made the playoffs.
I think eventually,
if you're practicing on Thanksgiving. But again, bye week this past week, and I think a cool opportunity to kind of take some time with some players, recognize some achievements, and you guys actually just got the full list for your all-region team this year, and I think very apt, the two names kind of sitting at the top this season. You have the region player of the year, you have the offensive player of the year, and you have the defensive player of the year on your team, and I think that's pretty chalk from the beginning of the year. We knew Bubba Frazier was going to be pretty dang good. We knew Stephen Cannon was going to be pretty dang good, and we knew Cam Cody was going to be pretty dang good.
Yeah, no doubt. I think there's no surprise there, and, in presenting it to the region coaches as we were on our Zoom, with Bubba Player of the Year, it was unanimous. Right. Everybody was like, yeah, he is a dude, and what a blessing he's been to this school and this program, and super excited for what he's got ahead of him. And then, of course, with Stephen, had just a very efficient, very good year, and certainly his region when it got really, really important, he put up some really nice numbers. And then, with Cam, in talking to the coaches, I mean, obviously everybody knows who LaDamian is, and
sure,
but every single coach they thought they had to game plan more for Cameron Cody than anybody. And proud of those guys and, what they were able to accomplish.
And, Coach, I know looking at this one, again, those three guys, unbelievable. You had Carlton Hall make Offensive Lineman of the Year in that nominee. And then the one that stood out to me, because, man, if you took a picture and stuck it next to Meathead in the dictionary, it's Larson Little. But the dude's got a 4.0 GPA, and he made it as a Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Yeah, so that's very impressive with Larson. And a lot of the when I mentioned that to the coaches, they actually, as they thought, they went, okay, that tracks actually, because we see how he plays. He plays very smart,
right?
But he is a meathead, But 4.0 GPA, extremely bright, and president of our school. So so just kind of has all of that. And then Carlton, man, everybody was like, 77 played hard, played fast, played physical. And everybody remembers, him being 40, 50 yards downfield, making blocks at 300 pounds, So, proud of him, and certainly him coming off of last year where he just absolutely, his year was gone in less than 6 plays. And just so proud of him and the change he's made. And then, glad the colleges are back on him. He took a trip to Liberty, took a visit to Georgia Southern. The colleges are back on him as they should be.
And offensive line as well. Colin Ward gets recognized, and he's been a guy really, I think, has stepped up this season in an offensive line that's kind of been shifting around a little bit, and you finally have found those 6-7 guys you feel comfortable kind of rotating in there. I feel like he's kind of one of those stalwarts that stepped up.
Yeah, I think to me, when I was sitting there thinking about the offensive line this year, obviously Carlton has been, I mean, as he should be a senior, had been the leader, the bell cow, whatever. But Colin has been Mr. Consistency too. So all the way back to spring, where he earned his way, because he was new. He came in from another school. He came, earned his spot, earned that number one tackle spot, and he's been there ever since, and just been a very, very consistent, hard football player. I can't get him to clean up his locker, but as far as him playing football, he's doing that really well.
I think teenage boy plus offensive lineman usually isn't going to equal clean locker, but just the stuff you got to deal with.
I blame Colin. I blame it on his granddaddy, Big Mike. So
if anybody's watching, make sure he sees that.
Yeah, he needs to know that.
LaDavian Guyton, Stanley Smart, Aaron Mallard, Jaden Houston, Larson Little, Isaac Scott, the rest of those guys make first team. And then you got a bunch of guys make the second team as well, all starters for you. And I feel like a lot of times when you get down to it, it's a coin flip. And you hate to say it, but in region, sometimes you're like, man, we can't put this whole team as the first team. So we gotta have some guys on the first team from some other teams as well. I feel like there's some guys deserving probably on that second team as well.
Yeah, definitely so. And and like you said, almost every starter made first or second team,
right.
and that was, I think, indicative of who we are and what the team did this year. I'm very proud of them. A lot of guys and some younger guys, Reef Leonard. Made that. John Black, who has had just a stellar year.
He kind of popped in the Camden game and has kept that going.
And I don't think he's any way is he planning on backing down off of that. So he's a Division I football player for sure. I know just a lot of guys have done really well, and then some former names of Josh Washington, Mekhi Williams, JoJo Sutton, those guys, the Wyatt Estabrook, those guys who've been around and done it for a while.
And again, huge accomplishments and something they can carry with them forever as region champions. But something that I think Nick Saban would qualify as rat poison as you guys get ready for the playoffs. And, Coach, I'm going to throw some more rat poison at you here. You guys getting ready to take on East Forsyth.
Right.
They're a 6-4 football team. You guys won your region, which means you're taking on the 4th seed from another region. And East Forsyth comes down from the Gainesville area up there north of Atlanta. And this is from our friend Todd Holcomb there at the AJC. You guys have made the playoffs 15 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You've won your first-round game 13 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
East Forsyth has now made the playoffs 3 years in a row. They're 0-2 so far in their first-round games, looking for their first ever win coming up in the playoffs in this stretch. You guys favored by 35 points in this football game. Little old East Forsyth coming to town. I mean, you talked about the social media and the projections and all that. I've seen a bunch of stuff with Benedictine in the final game, and BC's got the best fan base in the state. How do you deal with, hey, we're region champs, we've had a bye week, now we're getting ready for a game, and everybody's telling my players they're about to win by 40 points?
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily deal with it that harshly in the moment. We've been dealing with that for years and the whole year. And I know that I don't mean to sound boring with that statement, but we constantly talk about that. We talk about the process of what we do, how we do things, and that's what we have to focus on. And we're competing against us constantly. Yeah. We're competing against, can we be the best we can be? It also helps that we have guys that are competing against number 2,
right?
Because you'll be off of there real quick, and we'll get somebody else in there. So it is something we do talk about, but we don't spend a lot of time on it because we realize that a while back, hey, this is what we got to do, and you go take each team and each game seriously. Also, the fact that you don't get many,
no,
and we're guaranteed one more.
Yeah,
and players that get hurt. I bring up Carlton Hall and Isaac Scott. A lot this year. Guys, look at them. They went out there for one game, less than a quarter, and then they were done. That's horrible. And then, and Isaac can attest to that too. He had surgery yesterday. So, right. It's something. I think we've talked about it enough. We've ingrained it in their heads that they just understand they want to go play ball. And after having only 3 home games, they're just excited to be here. Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think they're excited to go play football in Memorial Stadium in front of a home crowd.
And with that, I know you go to 15 straight playoffs, you win multiple state championships, and then you have a team that's kind of built over the past 2 or 3 years into what this team is. Everybody knows those players' names.
Mm-hmm.
They're players who are going on to play big-time college football. Feels like there's an expectation with this team, whereas there's a whole lot of teams right now around the state. I look at Warner Robins right now, and not saying anything of them as a program because they're an excellent football program,
Right.
but where they were in October versus where they finish now, there's a whole lot of teams like Warner Robins around the state like, hey, we're fired up just to be in the playoffs. Like we get a chance and we're in the playoffs. This is where you guys expected to be. How do you deal with that when you're 17 years old?
Yeah, we talk about that. We've been talking about that all the way back to last February.
Yeah.
The expectations you have. Why you're at Benedictine to have those expectations. You're at Benedictine to understand that pressure, to want that pressure, to go play the Colquitt counties, the Camdens, the Bufords, before we start a tough region, so it's part of it. So they understand it, I think, have calloused a little bit to it.
Yeah.
And, if I ever feel like that's getting too heavy for them, we try to find a way to make it fun.
Sure. And
just because forget about it. Let's go have fun and enjoy playing the game of football, which is what they're supposed to be doing. But here I do say this all the time to them, and they'll quote that they'll finish my words for me. I'll say, "How do you have fun playing football? Win."
Yes.
so
makes it
so
a
it's
whole lot more fun.
Yeah, it's not a lot of fun getting your butt kicked. I promise.
Well, again, East Forsyth coming to town. First time your two programs have met, and they're 6-4 on the season, finished 3-3 in their region to claim that 4th seed and a very good region. So making it to the playoffs out of that region, very much like our region, is an accomplishment. And I look at East Forsyth, look at their schedule, watch some of their tape, and I see a team that they've been blown out in some football games, but when it came down to it, they won the football games that they're supposed to win.
Right.
And they're a team that is not disused to winning. And that is a talent as a team.
No, they are a well-coached football team. Obviously, train hard and have done all the right things. And I know, how can you tell that from film? You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell who lifts weights, who gets in the weight room, who does the things right. And they play very hard. They're excited. They're excited to be here. They're excited to make the trip down. So there's a lot to be said for that. They're proud that they're in the playoffs, as they should be. They it was a tough region. It was down to the wire on who was going to be. So good for them, and it's going to be a great game and a battle for us.
And I know for 4 seed coming in to take on a 1 seed, you're a team that's won a couple state championships in the past 4 years. Does it ever get tired being everybody else's Super Bowl? Like, where it's just like you are going to get everyone's best shot?
No, it doesn't. We understand you're going to get the best shot from these guys, and that's
nobody's sleepy walking into this game.
No, everybody goes all right, because I tell the kids they can finish my words on this. So, I'll say I'll go back to Warner Robins when we played Warner Robins, and I said they just they got injuries, they're down a bit. They just got beat by Wayne, who had won their first game in 3 years. And I said, but how can they turn their season around? And the kids will repeat, beat Benedictine. If you beat Benedictine, that changes everything. That these guys coming in, if they can find a way to win this game, they will be all over every media outlet, and they'll have a parade for them. So we just got to understand that's the way it works, and go play with that type of pressure.
You guys win, it's a byline in the Savannah Morning News. You lose, it's probably front page. So it's just that's heavy as the head. That kind of wears the crown there. But again, very good football team coming in. As you go back and watch that tape, what should fans expect to see on Friday there in Memorial Stadium?
I think a number of things from East Forsyth is which I was told. I was corrected on Monday that there is no A or U in this. It is Forsyth.
Forsyth, yeah.
Okay. Well, apparently I don't say it with my.
How do you say it?
I was saying Forsyth.
Forsyth?
Yes.
Yeah,
apparently. I didn't realize it, but I got called out, so it's Forsyth.
We got a Forsyth Street downtown. So Forsyth
I know.
Park. Come on.
I'm sure I said Forsyth Park, but anyway, they're going to be a very hard playing football team. They'll run an even and odd defense, mostly zone stuff. That they're running in the secondary. mix it up according to your formations and what they do. Play, like I said, attack, play really hard. Maybe don't have the the dogs to run with some of our guys.
Sure.
In there's certain situations. Offensively, they do a number of different things. I think they've kind of had to go to more of a wildcat look. Number 4 is their quarterback, and he's good, and he can throw, and has completed a number of passes. 16 will come in playing quarterback 2, can throw it as well. Bigger kid, so they do a number of different things. They'll be in a spread look, running, a tray formation or doubles, and do a number of things there, and then they'll get back into more of a 2 running back H back,
Sure.
power set. And I think they'll just kind of bounce back and forth doing that. Special teams is something we definitely feel like we should win, both in the specialist areas and, with the guys returning and covering. So, you're going to see a good team that plays hard coming from them. They're the Broncos. It's hard to beat a Bronco. I've said that all week.
True.
So, we expect a good game.
And again, you don't accidentally win 6 football games, and they've got some talented athletes on their team looking to come down and, like we said, be on the front page of the paper for taking down BC. So with that in mind, talk about rat poison. Your fan base was just named by an outlet the #1 fan base in 4A because of the tailgates and how they fill out Memorial Stadium. If anybody's thinking about maybe we'll sleep in this week and we'll get back out round 2 of the playoffs because we know BC is going to be there, what would your message be for them?
Yeah, well, first of all, that's ridiculous. We had, only had 3 home games, and boy, did I hear about that. Why did we only have 3 home games, and blah, 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 blah. So don't not show up now.
Sure.
And it's going to be beautiful weather. It's going to be, beautiful sunny day. The sun will go down. It'll get a little cooler. The gnats will go away once it gets cool enough. So it'll be a beautiful weather out there. Come out, tailgate. I think they have a lot of things planned, like food trucks and, I don't know if they have a band or something, but they have a number of different.
A couple of alumnus are playing. Yeah.
Are they? Yeah. So we have bands and all the good stuff. So come out, have a blast, beautiful night, watch the cadets play. And, again, we can't, and they were bragging. It wasn't just, they said, yeah, we were the #1 fan base in 4A, but then in that message, they said, one of the best in the state, period.
Sure.
And so we can't have that kind of acknowledgement and then just, show up with, 500 people on Friday night.
Eyes are on you, fan base, and
right.
They need the cadets to pack it out coming up on Friday night. A couple of just quick questions, wrapping that up, Coach. #1, you mentioned Isaac Scott. What's his status going to be for this week and then going forward?
Yeah, he's not available this week. He did have surgery yesterday, went really well. I don't want to necessarily mention what all is involved there because I don't even know yet.
And he's still a kid.
Yeah. So, but he's okay. Hate it for him, but nothing that's going to be a major, major struggle for him to overcome.
Who's going to hop in for him?
Jameer Lee, which is pretty good.
That's all right backup.
All right backup. Jameer will be stepping in, who just picked up an offer from Ole Miss the other day, actually. Here's the thing about Jameer, and people don't know it because he's huge.
Yeah.
Right? The kid turned 15 in May.
Correct.
Middle of May. He could still be playing in 8th grade right now and still graduate at an appropriate time.
We got to start I'm telling you, we got to start the Texas Red Shirts, Coach.
Oh, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. I got to get people on board with this. But, but his upside is just unbelievable. I think he's excited, and I know he's excited. I met with him a couple of times, just go out there and get after it and show us what you got. And I know he's going to do well. It's
like my good friend Ben Troop said, if you're 6'2", 300 pounds, you have to prove to me you can't play
That's right.
football. And I think Jameer is proving that he is a very good football player.
Yes.
Other wrap-up question, you mentioned the sand gnats. Do you ever kind of wish it would stay warm outside because people from Forsyth have no idea what a sand gnat is, and then all of a sudden they're getting tore up on the sideline? That's a home field advantage right there.
It is a home field advantage, but I hate those things. They were out the past 2 days so bad at practice, and the guys, here's the thing, you bring them up, and I literally, I have my notes, and I'll be crossing them. I'm not going to talk about that. Not going to talk about that. So I'm like, okay, give me 15 seconds, because they're just like, and those gnats are so bad. My gosh. No, I
someone
don't.
tried to tell me that if you live here long enough, you get used to them. I don't know what they're talking about because it is yet to happen yet, and it's been over a decade. But again, massive game coming up tomorrow night, first round of the playoffs against East Forsyth. We're going to come back, take a break, and we'll wrap it up here next on the Danny Britt Show live from BowTie Barbecue.
As the world's largest lifestyle retailer of recreational boats and yachts, MarineMax is dedicated to connecting people with life-changing experiences on the water. More than just a boat retailer, MarineMax offers a complete range of services. 3518 Old Tybee Road, Thunderbolt, and online at marinemax.com. Criminal defense, family law, DUI, and divorce. You need representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted a Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023. Online at jvdattorney.com. Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings is one of Savannah's most popular. Could be the New York style pizza, or the pasta, or sandwiches, or wings. Whatever you choose, Cool Vibes has their own unique style. Check them out at 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah. BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Danny Britt Show live here at BowTie Barbecue. And, Coach, it's time for the playoffs. And just like Al Pacino said in the football documentary, Any Given Sunday, it's about the inches right in front of your face.
No doubt. And in the playoffs, every snap, every yard, and every decision matters. Your financial future is no different. It's built one smart move at a time. Abel's Iron Moore & Associates is ready to help you execute each play with purpose. Call AIMA at 912-777-4128. or visit AIMAINC.com today. Insight, perspective, results.
And again, massive game coming up tomorrow night as your cadets take on East Forsyth in the first round of the playoffs, looking to advance to the second round where the kids will be guaranteed another home game. So very important you get out there, pack out the stadium, and be loud. Kevin Thomas and myself will be on the call for that one if you're not able to make it out to the stadium on watchbcsports.com. But, Coach, some other stuff, some notes to get through here. You guys have had a chance the past couple of weeks with your team. You guys made it a concerted effort, I think a couple of years ago, to really lift and get strong throughout the season. And I feel like that's kind of paid dividends the last few years. And you've been showing me some numbers over here today that you guys retested some of those lifts, and there's some stuff that would be special in Indianapolis.
Yeah, no doubt. I think, we definitely made a decision to get stronger. We felt like we had to. We did that all the way back in January. Coach Reich and I met, and I said, I want us – it gets more and more fancy all the time on how we lift and all the type of equipment we use and all. And I still think it's a little bit of BS. It's pretty simple. What you do is you lift heavy.
Yep.
You eat right, you recover, and then you go do it again, just lift a little heavier. And there you get stronger. It's amazing. But
it's funny how that works out.
And it's funny. And I don't think anyway. But we've done that, and we went from 14 Iron Cadet Elite athletes the year before to 37 this year, which was an amazing accomplishment. Just because it's one thing to work with some of the kids I'm about to mention who are freaks.
Sure.
They're just naturally going to do better. But a lot of the kids that are backup roles, special teams roles, just doing certain things have gotten a lot stronger. But just a couple of guys, your quarterback, your QB1, bench 260, which is good. But now let me tell you, he close grip benches. He does a different bench with a different bar, which is a lot harder. Which is,
you don't want the quarterback messing up the rotator cuff.
It's a shoulder thing that, the reason they do it. A couple of the guys that play baseball or really big baseball players do it too, which I think is great. But anyway, 260 close grip bench is really good. But then squatted 445 is what's on here. I saw him get 455, but anyway, and then a vertical jump of 38.
That's
38-2, which is amazing. So 6'3", 6'4", 207 pounds right now. So that is a good quarterback. Had a Will Clark, who's a special teams guy for us, a backup guy. It came off of ACL surgery, and came back and he squatted 385 the other day, which I was extremely impressed with because he fought his way back. He worked with Coach Ed. Dr. Cedric did the surgery. He worked with Coach Ed and really fought back. To him, all of a sudden squatting 385 a year later is very impressive. Super proud of him. Cam Cody, of course, bench 355 and then squatted 575. And we stopped him there.
Yeah.
Like we literally,
you don't need to do anymore.
Yeah. We were all just like, stop. That's enough. That's enough. He was ready to do some more. And, but that is crazy.
When you see him throw 2 offensive linemen that weigh 300 pounds, it makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, no, why he just is so strong. Bubba Fraser bench 300, a 34-inch vertical. Now he doesn't squat anymore. He doesn't squat heavy at this point in the season. That I'm not such a meathead that I don't realize there's different scenarios there. But yeah, we want to keep getting stronger throughout the season, or at minimum maintaining 90% of your max. I get it. Some guys it's harder when a few of the kids have just lost weight. And and it's so funny. They're like, I'm trying. And then I talk to their parents. They're like, my gosh, I don't know what else to do. We're sending them home with protein drinks and all this stuff. And
you're practicing for 2 hours a day and then playing a game.
And they're lifting and they're doing everything that, and it's just that age. I said, don't worry to catch up with you soon enough. But, and you won't.
About a year after you graduate.
And you'll be, how did I eat all of that? But just crazy strength. Carlton Hall, 335 bench, 315 squat, which he's coming off that ACL surgery. So, him getting that kind of weight.
Smooth 315.
Oh, it is. And I think he could do a lot more, but understanding where he's coming from, we don't really push him. Rasheem Jackson squatting over 400, Larson Little bench over 3. Aaron Mallard, right, with all the speed and squatting 365, 36-inch vertical.
Good night.
Stanley Smart 300 bench, 425 squat, and a 40.6 vertical. So pretty on.
They do the metric scores for guys at the combine. That would be towards the top of the list.
Yeah. And you look at Stan. I guess he's probably just under 6 foot, maybe 5'11". He's right at 100. I think he's 198. And when I say it's chiseled, it is weird looking. You can see every muscle, and don't tell him I said that. Stanley.
Y'all keep this away from him.
But no, he's just such a dude and physically continuing to get better.
And again, just something that's paid dividends throughout the year, but just cool to see these guys, the work that they put in. Every now and then it's fun just to get in there, max out, and see what you can do. And I know the energy and the camaraderie that kind of builds matters a lot as well. So some really cool kind of special numbers right there. And I think the most important stat for Stanley Smart, just a junior. So you get a whole other year with him. But again, a lot of fun stuff, and there's a chance to recognize these guys with the bye week before they get ready for the playoffs. And it's just been such a historic run. I think it's cool today. We're getting ready for the playoffs. We've got the Estabrooks and the Dunns in the house. I know Wyatt and Stewart, both guys have played a lot of football for you guys. And as a guy who played safety for my team in high school, it's always good when I'm not on the stat sheet. But when Wyatt does pop on the stat sheet, it's usually because he's saving y'all on the back end.
Yeah, no, he's had a really good career and done a good job. I'll tell you a funny story about him yesterday because Wyatt is so – Wyatt.
Yeah.
He's hurt his wrist a little bit, and so we've been trying to just monitor that and not get it hurt in practice. And yesterday, the guy runs, he takes his steps and fits up in there, and then Olade, and I go off. I'm like, Wyatt, blah, 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 blah. And I see Coach Moore running over there to me. I'm like, what? And he goes, we decided to not have contact with Wyatt and I'm like, oh, all right. So,
but you can't apologize.
No, I did. I did. I went, hey, Wyatt, and I said, hey, man, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize y'all made a decision that's smart. Like, yeah, let's be smart. And it didn't bother. He wasn't. Yeah. He just not his personality doesn't bother him. He just like, got your coach, no worries. Like he wasn't gonna like most kids would have been like, but coach, he just took it and said.
I've always heard you gotta be like a freshly waxed car. It's just gotta roll right off. You can't let it stick to you. And
but then, that is his personality.
And Stewart, a young guy, has made some plays for you guys so far this year. Got a lot of reps with the C team as well. But it is hard to get on the field
Right.
with the people he has in front of him. But I think what matters is when you have a chance to get on the field that you show off. And he's had a couple long touchdowns for you guys on varsity. And when those guys in front of him do move on, I think a guy ready to fill some shoes.
I think if you'll remember, he started against two small schools called Colquitt County and Buford.
That's it.
He started because of the injuries.
And scored a touchdown against Colquitt.
He had a beautiful catch against Colquitt. So, no, he's a very good football player. Has played, obviously does a great job for us on special teams. Has been a huge special teams player, performer for us, and definitely has a huge future.
And Coach, before we let you get out of here, some other kind of housekeeping here. I know you're focused on 2025, but starting next year, a new region for you guys. You guys make the decision to bump up to 5A because of the decision of the GHSA to kind of have a private-only state championship.
Correct.
I think it's 4A all the way down to single A, just putting all the private schools into a playoff bracket among themselves. So you guys, Marist, and some of the other private schools around the state decide to jump up to 5A, but with this new region, some familiar faces. You have Jenkins in there, your crosstown rival, Ware County, which has become a great rivalry, and Wayne all still there. But then you have Statesboro, Richmond Academy, Groves, and Evans kind of rounding out that region. I know there's a bunch of Savannah schools in there, which is good for travel for you guys, but also Statesboro right down the road. There's some stuff in Augusta where it's going to be a long road, but I think it kind of shakes out to being pretty even to where you were this year.
Yeah, definitely like it. I like the region, the way it falls out. I think for across the board, all sports, certainly for football, I think it's going to be a good competitive region. You get 7 games, which helps us not have to go get so many games. And then, Evans, I did my student teaching at Evans.
There you go.
Long 30 years ago, but I don't even know if anybody there.
You were just trying to sneak on Augusta National.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be great. We're going to meet next week to get our region schedule together because we know it's an issue trying to get games, which has become even harder now that whoever decided to do this stupid rating thing, which is absolutely ridiculous, and it's going to kill us. On my soapbox, it just makes regions pointless. Why do you have regions now?
Right.
1, 2, how hard do you think it's going to be to get a game now? Because all anybody wants to do is go win.
Just get a win.
That's all you can do. Like, just got to go get a win because it matters just like it's a region game. Dumb. And sure, because somebody complains, you have to change everything for everybody.
I think it might make it a year or two, but I think next year, if it's an utter disaster, which, again, some people plugged it into what would have happened this year, and there would have been some schools that got beat by other schools going in front of them just based off of this. I think we'll probably see a shift.
Well, you saw what happened to Southeast Bullock with Beach. I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And but anyway, again, a few people complain and squeaky wheel, and then all of a sudden we're changing everything. I get it. There were a few scenarios where anything would help a region because but why do you have to change the 95% for the 5%?
Correct.
So anyway, there's my soapbox.
I think there's some other if you want to use a formula, I think there's some better ones than the one that they're decided to use, but that's 2026. We're focused on 2025. The run to Atlanta starts tomorrow night at Memorial Stadium, East Forsyth. Benedictine 7:30 kick. Kevin Thomas and myself will be on the broadcast. We'll start at 7 o'clock if you are not able to make it out. But if you are able to make it out, get out there early, hit the tailgate, and then be loud when you get inside Memorial Stadium. We'll be there tomorrow night. Coach, looking forward to it, man. The run to Atlanta starts now.
Let's go. Go Cadets.